Hello guys, my name is Yusser. In this video I'm going to talk about the Microsoft SQL tools and how to set the environment for our first data warehouse project. First, to summarize, there is three main tools we're going to install: the SQL Server, SQL Server Manager, and the Visual Studio. Of course, there is some configuration needed during or after the install process to get all the necessary tools and extensions for our data warehouse project. All the links I'm using are down in the video description, so let's get started. First, we're going to install the SQL Server. I'm not going to install it because I have it all installed. This application will install the necessary files needed to install the SQL Server. In the location see SQL 2019. So I'm not gonna install it right now. It's takes some time to finish. So let's go right for the folder. We run the setup file. It takes some time to process. We see the SQL Server Installation Center. We're going to go to the Installation tab and press on the new SQL Server Standalone installation. We're going to skip all these parts till we get to the feature section. Here you can choose to perform a new installation or add feature to existing instance. I'm going to use the new installation. Read and accept the license. So check the database engine services. We're going to need the analysis services, and of course the integration services. Make sure to check that if it's not checked. Press next. Here you can use the default instance, which is called MS SQL Server, or you can use a named instance where you can call it whatever you want. So I'm going to choose three. You are going to use this name later. Next. Here we're going to keep it Windows authentication mode. We're just going to add the current user. For the analysis services, we're going to use the multidimensional and data mining mode, and of course add the current user. We are ready to install. Just press install and wait till it finish, and everything should be fine. I'm not gonna continue with the install part because I have it already installed. Open the SQL Server Configuration Manager. You should see that there is the SQL Server integration is running, the SQL Server analysis, and the SQL Server. And here is the name of my instance, MS SQL Server 2. If you go to the service, you can see the host name and the name of the SQL instance, server instance, which is MSQL Server 2. make sure that you memorize this information because we're gonna need it when we connect to the SQL server from the SQL Server Management Studio. Now we're gonna download the SQL Server Management Studio. Here, press download. I'm gonna save it. I have it already. Here it is, SSMS setup. I'm gonna run the installation process. It's pretty straightforward. There is nothing to configure and nothing to add. Just keep with the installation till it finishes. I have it already installed, so I'm not gonna repeat the installation. There is nothing really we need to add here. Here's the Management Studio. You see here, the server type is database engine. We're going to connect to our server name, which is the host and the SQL Server instance, which is already detected here. But if you find this field empty, make sure to re-enter the information like I talked about earlier. Here we see that our Management Studio is connected to our SQL Server, and we can create databases, data warehouses, and add integration services, all the other fun stuff. Finally, the Visual Studio. First, we're gonna download it from this link. Download Visual Studio Community. It will download the installer, which is 1.3 megabytes. I already have it, so we just wanna return to it. Here it is. Continue. It will download some license first, and then it will run. See, I already have it installed, the Visual Studio Community in 2019. I'm just gonna make sure to tell you what boxes to check when you install it. Here in the workloads, when we install it, we're gonna check the data storage and the processing. We just need this tool. All the others are not important for our purposes. We will check this tool and continue with the installment. We're not going to do that either. It's already installed. After we installed Visual Studio, we're going to need two extensions to make sure that we can create our type of a project. In Visual Studio, we're going to create the SQL Server integration and the analysis project. From extension, manage extensions. First, we're going to install the integration services, SSIS. Here it is, the SQL Server integration services. We just put SSIS, but here I have it already installed, so it didn't show it in the search. But this is the extensions we need. We just press download if you download it for the first time, and it will download the files to your computer. It will look like this. So we just install it after we close the Visual Studio, of course. I already have it installed. Just press next till it finishes. Here we're gonna search for SSAS, which is SQL Server Analysis Services, which we already have it installed, so it doesn't show it in the search. This is Microsoft Analysis Services. We're gonna press download. This extension won't download files to your computer. It will just download the needed data, and after closing the Microsoft Office, it will already launch the installment process. Just keep pressing next, modify till it finishes. That's all the tools we need for our data warehouse project. I hope that there won't be any issues. If there is any, please leave a comment, and thank you for watching.